My DJ name is Feminem. I'm based in Nottingham and I've been DJing almost 2 years now. I feel like saying multi-genre is like a bit of a cop-out. I don't really stick to one particular genre, so I play like quite a big mix, anything from about 100 BPM up to like 155. So it's quite a big mix, and that's what I like about playing. But I basically play anything with a lot of drum in it, basically, and anything that you can stomp to, really. But yeah, it depends on my mood. So I used to be involved in the music scene quite a few years ago now, maybe like 8-9 years ago, putting on events myself, and I knew quite a lot of DJs, and I brought a lot of DJs here from various places, but quite a few people from London. And then when I stopped doing that, I just kind of, and I don't really party anymore, I kind of missed being part of that like culture. And Mixed Nights do a 6-week course to like introduce DJing to female and non-binary people in particular, to kind of diversify the industry a little bit, or support those people to get into the industry. So I was like, I'll just try it and see how I get on. And then I just really loved it, and then I got offered gigs, and I kind of just started saying yes, probably before I was ready, because I was just like, I'm just having fun with it. And then that was it. I've been like, yeah, fortunate enough to be invited to various different like gigs and stuff. Mixed Nights is like a Arts Council funded organisation, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I think it's Bristol, Nottingham and London, maybe one other city. So some of the DJs here kind of like work as teachers on it and host it for Mixed Nights. I think just because it's like quite diverse, I guess. There's quite a lot of different sounds in Nottingham. Like Nottingham has a really rich history of like music and dance culture, and going way back, like this area in terms of like the DIY parties and all of that, like there's a really rich history of that kind of EDM basically. But I guess just like the support that I've had here to just do the thing that I want to do. Like I say, I don't really specify in any particular genre, and I don't play commercial, so when I get booked, I just get booked to do what I want, sort of thing. Obviously I play for the crowd as well, but like, yeah, I don't get booked to play a specific genre, if you know. And yeah, Swing Dash has been amazing for that. I can't remember exactly how long they've been open now, but that's like been really great for the community the past couple of years. And then I started hosting my DJ show there at the start of this year, which is called Fem De La Crem, and that's going really well. I'm really loving it. So yeah. I think we're quite fortunate in Nottingham, like because of the Mixed Nights course, like that's obviously producing lots of female and non-binary DJs that are carrying on afterwards, which is great. And then obviously we've got Abby running Gals in Knots. So I think we're quite fortunate in terms of like the more DIY or grassroots end of the music scene here, I would say, is like pretty well balanced. It's still like the bigger gigs where it's like all male lineups and stuff, so there's obviously a lot of work still to do, but I think just in the city, I wouldn't say I've been quite fortunate with who I've been booked by, that I've not really had any issues. Obviously, like I said, quite a number of years ago, I put on parties in this non-for-profit art space, in this attic space. And that was just a really special time. There wasn't really anything like that at the time happening. And yeah, I did I got some Voguing and Jersey club DJs in, and that's the first time we'd had an event like that in Nottingham, so that's really exciting. And then my friend Grace put on Salia and Rosca nearly 2 years ago now. That was probably one of the best things I've been to in Nottingham for a while. And then a gig, the Chameleon, I don't know if you've been, it's just about to get closed down, but Club Fruit, I'm sure it's Club Fruit, did a really great gig there where Outsider played. She's like my favourite Nottingham DJ. I really love what Outsider does, and they're also doing some really great work as well, sort of doing interviews and articles as well about supporting specifically like trans female artists. In terms of the DJ world, I'm a bit like, in terms of what I get inspired by, it's more like what I'm doing in my life, rather than by what's happening in the scene necessarily, because I'm not really great at following like, yeah, all the like big names and that sort of thing. I just get, yeah, it's just quite dependent on my mood. Like, I'll just get quite into sort of ecstatic dance and like weird choral music and like find a way to play that with like Jersey club and booty bass, which you definitely just shouldn't usually do. So yeah, I don't really get that influenced by like specific people. Just what I'm into like at the time and my mood, I think, and what I'm like listening to. Yeah, I like people that span like a few genres. Like all of the guests that I've had on the show so far, like, are all quite eclectic in that taste, I guess. And the show is like specifically genreless, or genre bending, as I like to call it. Yeah. So I guess I feel like I'm kind of like on the fringes of the like industry, because I don't really sort of, you know, there's lots of people that obviously want to do it as a job. So I don't feel like I've got much advice in terms of that side of things. But like for me, I just think start. I just think like give it a go. Like for me, there's so many people that are so incredible, like technically, and also, you know, really learn their craft in a particular genre. And I'm just not trying to do that. And I think there's space for everyone. Like some people get a bit like, oh, you know, people aren't using this button or that button anymore. Is it real DJing and all that stuff? Like, I think the kind of like definition of a DJ is the same as an artist. Like it's really subjective, and I think there's loads of things about DJing that come into it that aren't just to do with, you know, the technical aspects on the decks. I think it's also to do with how you respond to a crowd and your enjoyment and your energy doing it, and how you relate to the people that you play with, and all that stuff comes into it. So I would just say just bloody start, because I started way before I was ready to, you know, because I was like, I'm just doing it for the joy of it. Oh, actually I did have one thing once where I was like, I was quite early on and my tracks were clanging, but I was just like having a good time, and it was clanging for maybe like 8 bars or something, and a guy like, you know, jumped over to like change it, and someone like said to them, you know, like, it's literally fine, you know, because some people have obviously got an amazing ear and they'll always hear everything, but then most people on the dance floor aren't gonna hear that if they're in the moment, really. So yeah, I think personally, just don't be like quite so precious about it, just have a good time, and that's how you learn as well. Like I just always put myself out of my comfort zone, and then that's when like some transitions that you've never done like happen, and sometimes they like really work and sometimes they just don't work, but you need to like have room for that as well. So I guess I still do occasionally get imposter syndrome when I get invited to do things like this, because yeah, like I said before, there's lots of people that are, you know, really well educated, researched and well versed in the industry, and who's doing what and who's producing what and all of that stuff. But I do think that's part of what a music community should be. Like there's space for everyone on like, yeah, the spectrum of like technical ability and, you know, yeah, the history of EDM music and house music. You need to like leave room for error. Like I'm planning my sets sort of more loosely now than I was before, but you can only plan so much anyway, because you have to respond to the room. You can't just be like, oh, this is exactly the order that I've planned, so I'm just going to play it regardless. You know, you have to leave room to like respond to them, and also like just leave room for like your own wild cards or how your energy is on the night as well, and just have a good time really. Because I think that's a big part of it as well. When you go to parties, like you want to see that a person, you know, providing that energy for you. Like it's an energy exchange to me, DJing. So like it's not just about you giving to them, it's also about them giving back to you. And I think sometimes, you know, there's quite a lot of DJs that obviously take it like so seriously technically that they're hardly looking up, and it's almost like they're in their bedroom DJ and they get like hyper focused, like lost in it. But yeah, for me, I like the like interaction and the energy. Started Fem De La Crem in January, so we've done 3 shows so far. And it's hosted with Swing Dash on Mixcloud, and I basically just started it as a way to practice every month, push myself again out of my comfort zone by playing with different DJs. So every guest I've had plays slightly different genres, but they all they're all a bit kind of genre bending. Like they're not they're reasonably like eclectic in what they play, and it's nice to play next to people that maybe are slightly out of, you know, the edge of where you usually play up to, because then it like pushes you a little bit further. So it's just been like really super fun, and I'm just trying to get obviously include people that are working in the community in Nottingham, but also bring people from out of the city as well. And I just always said, like, as long as I'm having a good time doing it, then I'll carry on. But it's been super well received, like, yeah, way more than I thought it would be. So I'm just going to keep going with that, and I'm actually going to do a Fem De La Crem event as well in July to kind of celebrate doing 6 months of it. It's going to be a fundraiser, for a humanitarian aid charity. So everyone's like donating their time and their skill for free. So that'll be in Nottingham on July 6th.